was the 38th annual Thurman Munson Award dinner here in New York City, and it benefits the AHRC New York City Foundation, which assists children and adults with intellectual and developmental disorders. Thurman Munson was a catcher for the New York Yankees and also the captain. He played 11 professional years here in New York City from 1969 to 1979. But his life was tragically taken at the age of 32 while he was practicing takeoffs and landings in his private plane at the Akron-Canton Airport in Ohio. But since then, his widow, Diana Munson, keeps his legacy alive with this event.
First of all, I'm so proud and so impressed that 38 years after losing Thurman, we're still celebrating his life and his legacy. And the fact that we raised over $15 million for AHRC is just mind-boggling to me because, first of all, he didn't realize how loved he was. He knew he was respected, but he didn't realize how loved he was. And New York always rallies around this dinner, and they told me it would last a few years out of sentiment. 38 years later, they're eating their words.
And tell us a little bit about Thurman.
We don't have enough time for that. He was just the most unique man I've ever known. He was gritty and tough, and he was a rascal in many ways. And the other side of him was gentle and tender and loving, and he was, they say enigma, and I didn't used to understand that word, but Thurman truly was, because he possessed all of those characteristics, and that's unusual, I think, in one individual.
And the AHRC is for disabilities, for children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Have you seen where some of the money has gone?
Oh, I've gone to some of the group homes. There are workshops, there are camps, there are day programs, and I've seen exactly where the money goes. That's why this organization has meant so much to me, because in the beginning I wasn't sure, and so I went to check it out because I didn't want to attach our name to something that wasn't worthwhile. Well, it is more than worthwhile. I've come to love this organization and love the residents, and it means so much to me. They attend the dinner, and they put big smiles on their faces as soon as they see the athletes, and it means a lot, and it meant a lot to Thurman. He did a lot for AHRC when he was alive, so we've come full circle.
The Munson Awards, along with remembering Thurman, assists the AHRC New York City Foundation, and the awards are not only for performance on the field, but for community efforts. And every year I stand up here and I say, this is the best group of honorees we've ever had. And I say with sincerity, and I can say it once again tonight. Our first honoree that I'm going to introduce not only gets a lot of batters out in relief, but he brings relief to a lot of victims of hurricanes and national disasters as well through his foundation with his wife Erin. So I'd like to introduce one of the top relievers in the game from the New York Yankees, David Robertson. David, thank you.
David, just as a Yankee, Thurman's legacy, what does it mean to you to be part of all that?
It's an honor. I mean, Thurman was an amazing baseball player, did so much for the community, and left such a lasting impact with so many people that to receive an award in his honor is an amazing.
How much have you gotten to know Aaron Google?
We have a little text message going back and forth. I think the last text I sent him was, "What's the new attire for plane flights?" He's been very friendly, very open with everything, and seems to get back to me very quick. Seems like a friendly guy. I've met him in passing a few times since he's been an analyst or been on ESPN, and I know he can play the game really well, and I'm sure he has a lot of valuable information in his head that I'll be able to use when I'm out there.
David, in your first tenure, you were one of the younger guys, learning from some great talent ahead of you. Now when you come back in your second tenure, you're one of the most veterans in this organization. How does that make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel old. I look around the room, there's so many guys who are just 21, 22 years old, and they're just unbelievable athletes. They're so raw. Their talent is raw. I mean, they're only going to get better. And I guess my job is to sort of, now that I've got a little experience under me, is to go out there and show them how to take care of business, on the field in between the lines in a fashion that's not so fast paced. The game's always fast when you're playing when you're young, and it's the ability to slow it down is what's going to make it better for those guys and make us a better team.
What motivates you to give back to the community?
For me, we're given so much as athletes. I get to play a game for a living, and I'm paid very well for it, and I understand that. After 2011, when my hometown got hit by a tornado, and you see things just in shambles, and you realize that, if I'm given all this, why can't I return the favor to some other people? So, with help from my wife and from volunteers and from Judy Holland and from everybody else in Tuscaloosa and people from all over who've donated to help us keep High Sox for Hope going, it's what keeps you going. Why not, give back whenever I can.
Okay, TJ, come on over here. How many players make the big leagues not being drafted and play in their hometown and hit 300 in every minor league season? I'd like to acknowledge TJ Rivera for being the Mets Roberto Clemente Award nominee. Very unusual for a guy that coming off the bench, not having his own foundation, but really has had a tremendous impact on his rise to the majors, and coming off an injury, he'll talk a little bit about that as well. So welcome, TJ Rivera, Munson Award recipient 2018.
How you guys doing? It's an honor to be here. It's great to be part of this event. The AHRC. It's a blessing for me and my family to be here with some great people that do some great things for our community. So I'm really excited about this. And plus, Thurman Munson was actually my mother's favorite player. So it's an honor to be here and be mentioned in his name.
Thoughts about you staying healthy and everybody else on your pitching staff staying healthy?
Yeah, that's I guess the main goal. But you can't control those things. These are things that are going to happen. People are going to get hurt, and the more you focus on them, the more you kind of. I feel like the more you focus on them, the more you bring them to you, and you just kind of shy away from being the player you are. So I'm sure those guys are going to go out there and do their thing, and that pitching staff is great. And if they can just stay on the field like everybody wants them to, I think we'll have a good chance.
It was amazing how many of them went down. Every team has injuries, but it was extraordinary what the Mets went through.
It was kind of crazy. I remember getting my surgery and being back there rehabbing and things like that, and then it just kept happening and kept rolling. And it was just one of those kind of years, and it's something we don't look forward to, things like that happening, but they're going to happen during the season, and that season's over with. We're looking forward to 2018.
What's been your impression of the new manager? I know he's reached out to everybody.
Yes, he has. Yeah, I got to talk to him a little bit when I went and did an event with him in Albany. We went to New York and got to go see the governor. So he's a great guy. He seems very easy to talk to. He's going to do great things for this team, I believe, and I've got to see him a little bit in Port St. Lucie as well. So I'm looking forward to working with him more.
What are your expectations for the team this year?
I think all our expectations are to go out there and make the playoffs and then roll with it from there. That's always the goal, and we just have to have a belief in each other, and I think I'm looking forward to it. Even though I'm not starting the season and I'm going to be on the shelf, I still want to be around and just be a part of it as any way I can.
And nobody has to tell you to play hard because you are undrafted.
That's right. Yeah, that's always been my attitude, being drafted or not. I'm going to go out there, give it my all, no excuses. And then I got an opportunity when I got signed, so that's all I really looked forward to, was getting an opportunity, and that was it, and just give it my all. Yeah.
What does this award mean for you tonight?
It's a major honor in my life. Thurman Munson was a great representative of what the New York Yankees are. He's a great father, great person on and off the field, and to receive an award in his honor is amazing.
This award is special not only because of your on-the-field performance, but because of your off-the-field contributions as well. And I was wondering what motivates you to keep those going.
For me, we're given a platform and a stage, and paid exceptionally well for what we do, and I understand that, and I'm given a lot. So for me, I feel like whenever I get a chance to give back to the community, especially a place that's been affected by a natural disaster, or tough times just in that matter, it means a lot to see people with smiles on their faces and something happy that happens to them in that time.
Playing in New York, Thurman Munson's legacy must always be kind of drilled into your head. I'm just wondering, how has your take on it evolved over the years of being with the Yankees the second time now?
Second time around with the Yankees has been great. You never forget who Thurman Munson was. I can remember going by his locker in 2008 when I was in the old stadium, and his legacy will live on forever.
Getting to the current Yankees team, spring training's about to start. How excited are you to get down to Florida?
I am very excited to put some shorts on and flip-flops and go enjoy some baseball again. Feels like it's been a long off-season, so I'm ready to get back to it.
The Yankees added Carlos Beltran this winter. A lot has been said about the lineup, but is it possible that the bullpen is actually being slept on because of all the additions?
They can sleep on us all they want. We'll still try to get the big outs in the big situations late in the game. I think altogether we have a really good team, and I'm very excited about this season.
With the additions this offseason, is it possible that expectations have actually been raised for this coming year?
I mean, this is New York, and I play for the Yankees, so expectations are to win a World Series every year. There's nothing less. So, hopefully we end up back in the World Series. We were one game short, or one win short of getting in there last year. So hopefully this year's our year.
You have 132 saves. Am I correct?
I don't know. You probably know better than I do.
Are you going for Mariano Rivera's record?
Oh God, no. I don't know if I could throw that long. What do you have, 600? And he had a lot. I'm not doing that. No, I'm just going to pitch as much as I can and do whatever I can to help win ball games.
And how's the team morale right now?
It seems good. It'll be a lot better when I get down there in spring and get to see him a little more.
What do you know about your new manager, Aaron Boone, and how much have you been in contact with him?
I've talked to him a couple times in the offseason, texted back and forth a few times. Nice guy. Played for the Yankees. Seems like he knows everything that's going on there. He's got a great baseball mind, so I'm sure it'll be an easy transition.
Jorge, I'd like you to talk a little bit about Thurman. Obviously, being a Yankee catcher and coming up through the organization, when you learned about Thurman Munson, you got to know Diana over the years. What does he mean to you as a player and as a role model for people to look up?
What I was able to remember the things that I saw on video, the way he played, the way he carried himself, the way his teammates talked about him. I talked to Ron Guidry a lot about Thurman, and he said you would have loved having him around because you were very, very similar to him. His attitude, team first all the time, and being the cleanup and the clutch guy, that meant a lot to every player, not only Yankee players, but every player that played in the big leagues.
When you first saw his locker, when you were a young player in Yankee Stadium, did you inquire about him? Did you know about him already? What did you know?
My favorite number growing up was number 15. It was because my dad wore number 15 all the time at every event. When I was growing up and coming through the system, I could wear number 15 in different organizations that didn't have NY in the front. So I wore number 15 through my minor league. And then when I got to the Yankees, there was no way. So when I saw his number in his locker there, it meant a lot to me. I learned a lot, through the minor leagues about him. But when I got to the big leagues, I just learned a little bit more.
To get an award in his honor and his name or whatever, that has to be something special.
Very, very special. Because this means that, not only on the field, but the things that you were able to do in the community. With the foundation when Jorge was born with chronic synostosis, and now the relief efforts we're doing with Puerto Rico. We're very, very happy that we're helping. That's the least I could do, and honored that I'm being honored with Carlos Beltran, a guy that also does everything he can for Puerto Rico.
And switching gears to the Yankee team now, how much did you watch last year, and how exciting is it to see?
I watched a lot of the games towards the end. I saw the game clicking. I saw the team clicking. I thought they were going to go, but they ran into a Houston team that was destined to win. And very happy for Carlos, and but the Yankees look good, and I just hope that it continues.
Jorge,
Congratulations on the award. How do you feel about your former colleague, Bernie Williams, presenting you with the award later this year?
Bernie, if it wasn't for Bernie, we'd not be standing here. Bernie Williams opened the door for all of us minor leaguers because he's the one that young guy that started it all for us. If he doesn't do good in the big league team, we probably get traded away. And Bernie was the cleanup hitter on the best team in the planet in the late '90s, and he deserves a lot of recognition and a lot of things that he's so quiet and humble that people don't talk enough about him.
When you look back and reflect on the success you had with that team, what
Can you
goes through
turn
your
the light
mind?
off, please?
What goes through your mind when you think of the success that those Yankee teams had and being part of that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the beginning?
Yeah, what goes through your mind when you reflect on your career and the success that those Yankee teams had? What's the first thing that pops into your head?
It looked easy. It wasn't easy. I look back now and I get nervous now. I didn't get nervous back then. A 7-game of the World Series and stuff like that, or 7-game of the playoffs. You don't realize, the intensity and the things that happen, and the fans really get involved. But as a player, you just go and play, And now that I'm not playing and I'm just sitting at home, I get nervous for the guys. And it is hard, and it's tough to put into words how easy it looked while we were doing, the championships we were winning.
And you also look at the position of catcher and the legacy that the Yankees have, and another great catcher.
Yeah.
To be part of that legacy, what's that like for you?
I'm humbled that I'm mentioned with Yankee greats as a catcher. I just think these guys are in another level. I'm a little bit more behind, and I hope, one day that I can just, talk to my grandkids and tell them that, that I'm part of that legacy. Very, very humbled that, I'm getting this award. Thurman Munson meant a lot to the organization, and he meant a lot to his teammates, and, very, very humble.
Jorge, a lot of some pretty big additions to the current Yankee team this winter. If you were catching against a lineup with Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, how would you call a game against those guys?
You just gotta find the weaknesses. There's holes in those swings. You just can't make mistakes. And I just see a lineup that is together. If everybody plays together and they stay healthy, it's a dangerous lineup. But as a pitcher, you just gotta be comfortable of try to not make too many mistakes and go after them. When it comes to Puerto Rico, and the latest thing we're doing, we partner up with States of Aquilina, and they donated 150 apartments. Whatever was inside these apartments, they're going down to Puerto Rico. You're talking about 150 refrigerators, 150 ovens, 150 couches and chairs and lamps, and to this area that lost all. They lost everything. 16 feet of water in this area called Toa Baja. And before we brought supplies down. We brought people from Puerto Rico that needed medical attention. More than 150 patients we brought with dialysis, cancer patients, diabetics. What else? We brought down a plane of FedEx with more than 160,000 pounds of supplies. We partner up with JetBlue. We done a lot. I hope that I can continue doing the same thing, and people keep donating to us.
Carlos, you were saying that traditionally, whenever you were a free agent, you were able to have your deal done by Christmas. Yeah. Do you think that the new agreement between the union and management has made the union weaker?
I mean, I don't know if it's the agreement or is the way the analytics value players. Or, kind of before, a lot of teams make decisions based on emotions, or I like this guy and I want to get this guy because I believe he's going to be good for us. But now it's not like that. Now they make decisions based on facts, what you have done, and why they project to as a player that you're going to continue to do based on stats and analytics. So I do believe the organizations are making decisions based on business and less emotions, and yeah, I mean it's complicated. You don't want to think about collision because you know who never know. I mean, I'm not saying that it's happening, but it could be. Maybe yes, maybe not. Or could be analytics thinking more like, okay, you know what? Now we're not going to make a commitment to players for 7 years like we used to do in the past. Now we want to commit for 3 or 4, and give ourselves more chances of saving money for future free agency players.
Carlos, do you think it's good to evaluate players purely on numbers? Do you think that's a good way to evaluate them?
You know what? I do believe that analytics are a big part of the game of baseball, but analytics don't understand also. They don't measure the heart. They don't measure the desire of the player. They don't measure like when the player is hot and should be playing against righty, lefties, and any pitcher in the game. So that you cannot measure that. So that's why I do believe that the teams that are going to be the most successful in the game are going to be teams that are well balanced, where they have baseball people and they also have a good analytic department. The clubhouse, the analytic kind of measure, and that's chemistry. That's having a relationship with the guys. That's having a leadership and being able to make sure everyone is in the same boat, And McCann did a great job, with the team, with the starting pitcher, being a veteran guy in the league, I mean, they also have talent, man. That's what it's all about also. You could have great analytic department, great baseball department. If you don't have no talent, you're not going to win. So when you look that ball club and you look by position, you look Bremer on third base, Correa, Altuve, Gurriel, Springer. So you look. They have a lot of athletes that can play the game of baseball. And when you combine those with the information that analytics were able to provide to them, it's a great combination.
Carlos, could you tell us a little bit about what being on tonight means to you?
Well, for me, it really means a lot. I think being able to receive this award, the Thurman Munson Award, is a great honor. For the fact that Thurman Munson, did so many great things for New York, being the captain of the New York Yankees. I also feel that, also Diana has done a great job keeping Thurman Munson legacy alive for so many years. And also, it's about giving back. So that's something that I have no problem with. And since I joined the big leagues, I've always been involved in the cities that I have played for, try to get involved in the community. And I was saying before that the true legacy of an athlete is not what you have accomplished on the field. It's the impact that you were able to do off the field and the life that you were able to touch. So the fact that I got to be able to be recognized tonight really means a lot to me.
While you were playing for the Yankees, what did you understand about the legacy of Thurman Munson?
Well, you know what? There's no doubt that they were active in the community. Being involved with helping the kids who are going through necessities out there, not only kids but also adults. So I got to go in the internet and find out about the foundation, about what they do. They do a magnificent job. Like I said before, Diana has done a great job keeping his legacy alive for so many years, being able to do this event, being able to recognize so many athletes. So the fact that I was able to get this award is a great honor for me.
Speaking of foundations, tell us a little bit about your own foundation. As you mentioned, you're being recognized for not only what you did on the field, but what you did off the field, particularly your work in Puerto Rico and how really the job isn't done now. There are so many people.
Yes, right now the situation in Puerto Rico is 40% of the people still without power. It's sad that many American citizens are going through this type of process in Puerto Rico, and our foundation is doing the best the best we can, and try to help a lot of people over there. Right now, we're in the phase of rebuilding 200 homes in Puerto Rico, so we're excited. We have a great group of people, a lot of volunteers that have come and joined us to help, because that's a necessity right now in Puerto Rico.
Me and my wife started Tuck Structural Literacy in 2008, and we focus on Title I schools throughout the tri-state area, in the Bay Area of Oakland and California, and back in my home state of Alabama. And basically what we do is we provide reading materials, after-school programs, books, and programming to underprivileged children, with focuses on literacy, financial literacy, and just created another entity to do a lot around our grant making. It's something that we're very passionate about. We've raised over $3 million and donated over, I think at last check, 750 in grants. We've had touch points with over 100,000 kids in the tri-state area, and we're continuing to grow. So I'm super excited about it and super excited to be here tonight.
JT, how do you feel about getting this award, which really honors community off the field?
Sure. I think for me personally, everyone around my way always asks me about legacy, and when I think about my legacy, I think I always want it to be about the giving part, not necessarily what I did on the football field, but how I use the platform of the NFL and being a star in the NFL to create that sense of giving back in our community. So I'm super excited about it. Being a huge Yankee fan and a huge Thurman Munson fan, I'm super proud of the fact that to be amongst the group of men that are getting this award tonight. That's a true accomplishment.
How does it feel to be alongside New York champions like Jorge Posada out there? How does it feel to foresee that?
I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm trying not to be a fan, but obviously I'm a huge Yankee fan and had some great years watching him and all of those Yankees, set the tone in this city for how an athlete one should conduct himself on the field of play, but also off the field of play. So definitely a huge fan of him, Carlos as well, Robertson as well, and looking forward to kind of chatting with them a little bit tonight.
And I'm Kristal Hart reporting from the Thurman Munson Awards ceremony here in New York City. Hope you've enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching.